Okay, so today we are in the ninth lecture of our subject communication English, and in here today we are going to learn about writing dialogues. So the book which I referred for making the slide is The Communicative English by Rajkishore Singh, and the pages are starting from 127 to 133. You can also take this book from the library and you can check it out for yourself. So, dialogues, as we know, are the integral parts of books or any form of writing which involves characters. You have heard like dialogues in movies, or maybe dialogues in stories, where there are characters, where there are antagonists, protagonists who speak to other or who communicate with other characters in that particular story or that movie. So dialogues are associated generally with the character. So the dialogues must be naturally written and written with correct punctuation. And the dialogues mainly depend upon the character as well. So here are some tips for writing a dialogue. You can fully follow it, or but it is just a general outline. We'll discuss thoroughly what we are going to cover, and we will try to learn every bit of writing a dialogue. But here are some tips. The first step is saying the dialogue out loud. Sometimes what happens is that you might write a dialogue which is suitable for a character, but if you do not say it out loud, then you might not know how the dialogues actually sounds or what the reader might portray about the character by seeing your dialogue or by reading the dialogue. So the first step is saying the dialogue out loud. If it makes sense, then you might as well continue with the dialogue, or if it does not, then you will surely make some changes. The second tip is cut small talk when writing a dialogue, which means that do not make the dialogue unnecessarily long because it's just a dialogue. Just try to keep it as simple as possible. For example, when you talk with your friends or families, you do not generally speak a whole paragraph with them, right? If it's not a debate or something. So we like to generally talk small because that is something which happens in the reality. And when you are writing a prologue or a story of some kind, then you might want to keep the dialogue short and concise. So the third point also emphasize on the same thing is saying that keep the dialogue brief and impactful. The dialogue must be short, but the information must be relayed fully. The fourth one is give each character a unique voice. So it basically wants to say that if your story or a portion of your story or something play or drama that you're writing, then there are many characters involved, right? So you have to make the reader feel as if they are reading about different characters. For example, even if you do not say that, do not point towards the name of the particular character, by reading the dialogues, the reader must uh, visualize somewhere that the speaker or the writer is talking about this character. The other point is add word appropriate slang. So this is something we are not quite acquainted with because English is not our primary language. But if you want to go further in writing stories and writing books, perhaps you will come across different words, vocabularies, and there are many readers who do not like to read the technical, proper technical, or the strong term, as you can say. They just might want to read the slang associated with the word. So it might also add beauty to the title. And the last but not the least is you have to be consistent with your dialogue. You cannot be fully focused on writing a dialogue in the first paragraph and then uh, starting to just write the haphazard dialogues like missing out on punctuations and things things like that. You have to be consistent throughout the essay. So we are here and I've used the book cutouts. So the first portion is showing you how to write the dialogues. You'll see point by point. And the first one says use quotation marks around the words which the character says. For example, here it's sure called out here, but you can see that there are apostrophes and a comma used in this particular sentence or the particular dialogue. So you have to use quotation marks around the quote provided by some speaker. So the second thing is begin a new paragraph each time a different person speaks. This can help to cut down the number of dialogue tags required. For example, you can see here a certain conversation between two persons, I suppose. So the first one says, "Did you say your prayer tonight?" I meant to, but I got to try and cipher out how much 12 times 13 is. And oh, we are lost beyond all help. How could you neglect such a thing at such a time as this? So these are different dialogues. So you can notice obviously that the dialogues are written on separate paragraphs, which help to emphasize the dialogues even more. And these are also implying that these are said by different persons, right? So remember to indent the beginning of each dialogue paragraph just as you would in any other type of writing. It means that you have to uh, indent, which means that you have to provide the sort of quotation marks followed by a capital letter. You have to identify generally that you are starting a new dialogue in some way. So the third is only the exact words of a person are in quotation marks. Also, when splitting a quotation with dialogue tag, do not capitalize words which do not begin new sentences. So it means that you have to put the words which are actually said by the person inside the quotation marks, and until and unless you are starting a new character speech or a new character dialogue, you did not start the next part of the sentence with a capital letter. For example, I really don't know, he said, whether she loves me or not. So both of these dialogues is said by the same person, right? So you surely will not put a capital W because you are inside the same dialogue here. The fourth one says, when several sentences are quoted together to form a paragraph, put just one set of quotation marks around the whole quotation, except for dialogue tags. So, just the example that we said earlier, if you are using many sentences which are said by the same person, try to put them into same one set of quotation marks, which means two quotation marks, right? Except for dialogue tags. The number 5 says periods and commas are always placed inside the quotation marks. So you can see Kelly said, comma, quotation. Have a nice day. Full stop, quotation. Have a nice day, comma, quotation. Kelly said. So here we can see that the commas and the full stops are all placed inside. So it generally matters how you are placing your dialogue and acknowledging the manner of the dialogue writing, you can clearly understand from this example. So the sixth point says an exclamation point or a question mark is placed inside the quotation marks when it punctuates a quotation, but outside the quotation when it punctuates the main sentence. So here, she looked at me and asked, comma, quotation, are you all right? Question mark. Because are you all right is the question asked by she. So the question mark is placed inside the quotation, where the question mark punctuates the quote. But if you say, did the teacher really say finish this today? So in this case, the teacher had the teacher only said to finish a certain homework or something today by today. So that teacher did not ask a question. So it is you who is asking the question. So in this case, the question mark will not be inserted inside the quotation mark because question mark punctuates the main sentence. So the next thing is we will look how to introduce yourself and we will identify certain dialogues that you might use. So introducing yourself, quotation, hello, comma. My name is Peter Browns, full stop quotation. Or hey, how are you? Question mark. I'm Barry. Full stop quotation. Go. Or apostrophe open. Sorry. Quotation open. My name is Peter. Full stop. What's yours? Question mark. Quotation close. So these are some word manners that you can use when you need to introduce yourself. So the next thing is giving a little information about yourself or breaking the ice. So it is basically introducing yourself and breaking the ice is an idiom used in English language, which can be also said as breaking the dreadlock or something like that. It is generally implying that you are breaking the silence of the room. For example, you are inside a room or a party where people are involved in their own talking and conversation, but you want to get involved in that party or the group of people, so you have to break the ice in that case. For example, that's a great time. Where did you get it? So you are basically wanting to start a conversation with someone. Or I'm originally from New York, but I just moved here a week ago. Are you from around here? Or say, where's the best place to grab some hamburger? So these are the general types of uh, sentences that you can use to conversate or start a conversation with a new person. The next thing is keeping the conversation going. Sorry, keeping the conversation going. So once you have started a conversation with someone, you don't want it to end abruptly, right? So it will be awkward. So you need to learn some dialogues that you can use to keep the conversation flowing. For example, oh, you got that tie from Lotus? They've really improved their stores lately. So you are talking about their tie. So you might not be interested in their tie, but you just want to keep the conversation going. So you uh, misguide their attention towards their tie. So you can keep the conversation going in some sense. Or you can use something like, so you're originally from England. Do you ski? Or Burger King's hamburger. What's your favorite dish there? So these are some general things. You can modify this by yourself, but you have to get the idea that what kind of sentences that people use or implement so that they keep the conversation going. And the next part is closing the conversation. If you want to end the conversation with someone, you just don't turn your face away and go away from there. You want to end it properly. For example, it has been a pleasure meeting you. I look forward to seeing you again. Sounds like you know a lot about this city. Maybe you could show me around sometime. Well, if you're ever having hamburger, let me know and we can go to lunch. So these are certain closing remarks we can use for closing the conversation. So the next thing is ordering food and drinks or generally placing order. So we are not quite used to talk in a proper manner with the waiters and the managers while ordering anything, but there is a certain etiquette associated with placing the order for the food and drink, or some manner, as you can say. For example, there is a conversation provided between a waiter and a guest or customer at cafe. So we'll just see. Person A says, who is the waiter, supposedly, A says, may I get you anything to drink? B. The customer says, yes, please, may I get a glass of lemonade? So you can see how politely they are talking with each other, not like the general things that we see in our daily life. And then the waiter again says, would you like an appetizer? The customer says, may I get an order of barbecue wings? A says, sure. Would you like anything else? B says, that'll be fine for now. Thank you. A says, tell me when you want to order the rest of your food. B says, excuse me, I'm ready to order. A says, what would you like? B says, let me have the baby back ribs. A says, sure. Will there be anything else I can get you? B says, that'll be it for now. So you can see the politeness in the conversation here, which is quite absent in our daily lives, but you might as well want to try uh, implementing this in your daily life, not in English, of course, but in your local language that you use. So the next thing is a telephone conversation. There are some rules given. The first rule says, be brief. Do not waste the receiver's time. Second point says, be clear. Explain the background and purpose of your call. The third thing is, be polite. Recognize the receiver's point of view. So, what probably do you say while telephoning? So, if you are just making contact with a person, for example, someone just picked up your call, then you'll say something like, hello, good morning, good afternoon, something like that. Or you can say your name by introducing yourself. This is John Brown speaking. And after that, you can ask if the person whom you want to call is receiving the call or not by saying, could I speak to Mr. X, please? Or I'd like to speak to Mr. X. I'm trying to contact Mr. X. The next thing is giving more information. Sorry. I'm calling from Tokyo or Paris or New York or Sydney, wherever you are calling from. I'm calling on behalf of Mr. X. Suppose you are the assistant or personal assistant or manager of someone, then you might have to call on behalf of certain organization or certain your employer. So in that case, you can say, I'm calling on behalf of Mr. X. Or if you are on the other side of the conversation, for example, if you are receiving or taking a call, then you might say, uh, hello, this is me speaking, Mr. X speaking, can I help you? If you are asking for the name of the caller or some information about them, then you can say something like, who's calling please? Who's speaking? Where are you calling from? Are you sure you have the right number or name? The next thing, if you want to put the phone on hold or you want the caller to wait for some time, then you can say something like, hold the line, please. Could you hold on, please? Just a moment, please. If you want to connect after holding, then you can say something like, thank you for holding. The line's free now. I'll put you through. I'll connect you now. I'm connecting you now. Or if you are trying to provide some negative information over the phone call, then something like this can be employed. For example, I'm afraid that the line's engaged. Could you call back later? Or I'm afraid he is in a meeting at the moment. I'm sorry, he's out of the office today. He isn't in at the moment. Or something like, I'm afraid we don't have uh, Mr. S, Mr. Mrs. something X here. Or something like, I'm sorry, there's nobody here by that name. Or, sorry, I think you have dialed the wrong number. I'm afraid you have got the wrong number. Or if you are dealing about some telephone problems, you can say something like, the line's very bad. Speak up? Could you speak up, please? You want them to speak louder. Or something like, could you repeat that, please? Or you can say something like, I'm afraid I can't hear you. Or something like, sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you say it again, please? Or something like, pardon, please, or anything which needs to be polite and relaying the exact information, and it also needs to be brief as well. So the last thing is leaving or taking a message. So it's generally done when you are trying to end the conversation. So you can do something like, can I leave or take a message on behalf of someone, of course. Would you like to leave a message? Would you give them a message? Could you ask them to call me back? Could you tell them that I called? Could you give me your name, please? Could you spell that, please? What's your number, please? So these are the general things that you could use to make your telephone conversation a bit polite and stress free at the same time. So the next thing is making a dinner reservation. So generally, what happens in bigger hotels or restaurants is that they generally run out of place during the busy hours like Fridays and weekends. So in there, you have to call in earlier and reserve your table. So this is a conversation which is showing how to make a dinner reservation. Caller 1 says, good evening, I'm Kesuki, how may I help you? So they are the person from the hotel itself. Caller 2 says, hello, I'd like to make a dinner reservation for Sunday. Caller 1, certainly, I'd be happy to help you with that. How many people are there in your party? Caller 2 says, there will be 5 people. 1 says, and what time would you like to make the reservation for? Caller 2, let's say 6 o'clock. 1, I'm afraid we don't have anything available then. We could seat you at 5 o'clock or at 7 o'clock. 2, oh, okay. Let's make the reservation for 7 o'clock. 1 says, fine, 7 o'clock on Sunday evening for 5 people. May I have your name? Caller 2 says, yeah, it's Roboto. Caller 1, is that Roboto with an E or an O? So he says, Roboto with an E. Thank you. Great. I have a table for 5 for the for for the Roboto party at 7 o'clock on Sunday evening. Caller 2 says, thank you very much. Caller 1 says, you're welcome. We'll see you on Sunday. Caller 2 says, yes, see you then. Goodbye. Caller 1 says, goodbye. So this is a generally a thing which is happening in the abroad places and hotels where you have to make a reservation for dinner, and you can see the politeness employed by the waiter or the manager and the customer itself. So the next thing is providing directions, introducing directional phrases. For example, you are providing direction to a certain place to someone, so you'll say something like turn right or left at the first, second, or third corner from here, or go straight. You see it on the right or left. It's across from the school or park or the post office, which is generally a known location. You might as well want to provide the location based on that place. Or it's next to the police station or the playground, and the library. For example, if you have want to provide the direction to Mahakavidyapuram Technical School, then you might say that it's next to the police station, right? Because police station is something which everyone knows, every citizen, but the school might not be known to every person. So you might as well want to provide the direction based on the police station. So the questions which are usually asked for direction is that how do I get to a certain place on Main Street, or something like where is the closest BTS station? Or the third thing that you can say is, can you tell me where the shopping center is? The fourth thing is, I'm looking for Shillong Street. Fifth thing is, are you from around here? Because you could provide me direction in that case. So the next thing is, if you know the way, use basic English to offer direction. For example, you'll say that the easier way to get to Mahakapitaputta school is take a, take a tuk-tuk or an auto from the Sunol Chouraha and ask them to drop you about 10 or 20 steps away from 20 steps east to the police station, or the quickest way to reach there or the best way to reach there. So these are the general examples. So you can also use transition words or phrases, for example, separating each leg of the route with a transition. For example, if you are providing the direction to Mahakavi Devkota Technical School, but you are currently at the Mahakavi Devkota secondary school, then you might say something like, you first of all you have to walk 300 meters, or I don't know how much, 500 meters towards the north direction, and after that you will reach to a place where there are four streets, which is called the Surol Chaura. You can see a police station there, and after that you have to direct to about 1500 meters towards right or towards the east direction from there, and after that you'll reach to a police station. You can ask to the policeman over there, or you can simply walk 20 to 30 steps towards the straight direction. So these are the general transition. So if you reach to a place and then after that you have to reach to some other place, then you can use these kind of transition words. And finally, you have reached the provided place. So the next thing is offering rough estimates. If you are not totally clear about something, but generally you have to provide a rough estimate about something. For example, offering ballpark figures, rough estimates of time or length of travel. For example, some people feel better knowing how long it will take from A to B. For example, generally the distance is measured in meters or something, right? But people will like to know the exact distance, like in terms of time. For example, if you walk for 30 minutes, then you'll reach to that place, like that, something like that. So it's just around the corner, not far. It's not far. It's a bit of way. It takes a while. It's about a 5 minute walk, or it's about a 20-minute bus ride. The next thing is using landmarks. For example, tell the person what to watch for. You'll see a large clock on the right. It is a landmark or a milestone of some kind. You'll pass a gas station, or it's across from the blue church, or more useful language is its own street name. For example, the Mahagabhidapata school is just opposite the Dodua toll, or uh, it's across from a wedding place or Pratikshalaya. It's opposite to that Pratikshalaya. It's near the police station. It's around the corner from Somnath Bridge or something like that. And if you are offering warning to someone, you might say, stay in the right lane. It's a very busy road. It's a big hill if they are walking or on a bike. There might be construction. If you pass the bridge, you went too far. So if you are providing the direction to Mahakavidapura Technical School, but and they call and say you that they have just crossed the Somnath Bridge, then you might say something like, if you have crossed the Somnath Bridge, then you went too far. Return from there. Or there's no parking. The next thing is repeating yourself. If you already provide a direction to someone, but you need to repeat that, if you repeat the direction again, the other person will feel more confident. Repeat important details, including street names and turn. You can ask the other person to repeat the direction back to you. If you are in the car with the driver, give a lot of warning, turn right on the next street, get in the left lane, go one more block, then turn right, and the next traffic light turn, it's going to be on your right. So you're basically repeating to them. For example, you might as well provide the direction from Sunol Chaura saying a lot of things about Lumpini petrol pump, or you'll see Lumpini petrol pump along the halfway to reaching to Depota, or telling about Nadua toll, or telling about police station, or telling them that the marketplace is quite near as well. So the more you repeat yourself, the more the person will feel confident, right? And the next thing is clarifying yourself, making yourself more and more clear. Make sure that the other person understood your direction. Say, did you get all that? For example, if you tell all the directions to get into Mahagam Deputa school, then at last you might as well ask them. Did you get it properly, or do you want me to make it more clear to you? The other thing is that you might not know the way, right? If someone asks you about some place and you don't know, then just don't like guess blindly, because it might uh, provide some kind of stress to that person. He might go on some wrong way or wrong direction. It might be some painful experience for them. So don't just guess. And also don't just like shake your head that we don't know and walk away. You can use something like, I'm sorry, I'm not from here, or I'm afraid I can't help you, or sorry, I don't know my way around here. These are meant to say that if you are in a new place, you can say something like, I'm not from here and I don't know what you're asking about, or you can say something like, I'm so sorry I can't help you, or you can say something like, I don't know about the places in here because I don't generally operate here, or I just don't know the place that you're specifically asking about. You can say some other places which if you know that are near them and I could help you with something like. And the other thing is you could offer another solution to them. For example, you could ask the bus driver, ask the front desk clerk, follow me, I'll show you the way. Do you want me to draw you map? So you are offering other solution rather than just telling them the way. Conversation on asking for direction. So here's a general conversation. What uh, it looks like with proper dialogues. So here, conversation between William and Kate. William says, excuse me, I'm sorry to trouble you, but could you tell me how can I get to the train station? So he wants to go to the train station, but he does not know the way. Kate says, yes, no problem. It's that way. Keep walking straight ahead, and then you pass the library. You have to turn left. Then you then you take the first right, and it's across from the bus station. You cannot miss it. So Kate is providing the way from that place. He has to walk straight ahead. Then she's emphasizing on library, which is a public place. We don't generally see library in our villages, but libraries are quite important, and you might find a lot of libraries when you travel abroad. So she's providing the direction based on the position of the library. From the library, you have to turn left, and after that, you have to take the first right and across the bus station. So the library and the bus station are the main queues. And William says, "Thank you so much. I've only been in Manchester for 2 days, so I don't know how to get anywhere yet." Kate says, "Oh, I know that feeling. Me and my husband moved here 6 months ago, and I still don't know how to find certain places. Manchester is so big." So she has also moved recently, but she knows about the train station. And William has been there for about 2 days, so it's quite normal for him to not know the places, right? And William says, uh, and William again says, so just to double check, keep walking straight ahead till I pass the library, then I have to turn left and then take the first right, then it's across the bus station. Is that correct? Kate says, yes, that is correct. William says, well, thanks for helping me. I must go and catch my train. Hopefully, I have not missed it. Kate says, okay, fine. So, these are the general things that are the general dialogues you can implement to provide directions. So, we learned so much about writing dialogues in many cases. So, I hope you learned a lot. Thank you.